Hey guys, and welcome back. So, yesterday night they released the Doctor Who Series 12 trailer. Unsurprisingly, that also just happened to be the 56th anniversary of Doctor Who. No surprise to me there. So, I didn't get around to watching it last night, so here I am, and I'm going to do a reaction to it. 3, 2, 1...
The name's Doctor. The Doctor.
The security of this entire planet is at stake. Can we rely on you?
Stephen Fry! Oh my god! Oh, dude! Yes! Wait, was that the...
anything weird around here?
Wait, hang on.
You believe this is a alien?
Oh my god, is that Nikola Tesla?
You trust me, don't you?
Wait a minute.
Have I got to answer that?
That looks like it's more in America.
1943? Oh no.
Wait, and what?
Something's
I'm pretty sure that was the Eiffel Tower. Oh, more Cybermen!
Let it come.
Yes!
Miss.
Family.
Get away from them!
What the hell?
Nothing's will get into the TARDIS. You better die.
What have you brought here, Doctor?
They look like there's a crows or something. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. Early 2020. Oh, damn. Hang on, I need to watch this again. So, I'll watch it a few more times, then I'll come back to you when I've done. Okay guys, so I've watched it quite a few times and there's definitely stuff that I want to talk about. So, first we have the opening scene, which we see a few times in the trailer. It seems to be like a vineyard, so I'm guessing somewhere around like Italy. Although I think there are vineyards in France, maybe connecting to the other things, I don't know. But yeah, that's definitely a vineyard, and it does seem to be the same place where we get this, where they're all wearing the suits. This seems to be the same area. And you can see by what they're wearing that it does seem to be... So we've got this thing hurtling from space. This clearly seems to be Earth, but we don't know what it is, or I don't know what it is, and we definitely don't seem to know which part it's connected to. It may be connected to this scene, which definitely isn't the same episode as... earlier, because she's wearing a completely different costume and the area seems to be somewhere completely different, and I would say that's probably some episode that's just not connected to any of these scenes really. Then we get this spaceship that's firing a laser beam. Now I do think it slightly resembles the ship of a Judoon with the 4 things sticking out, but yet we have never seen a Judoon ship do this, but it is a similar shape to a Judoon ship that we've seen in the past. So that possibly could be what it's to do with, we don't know yet. This creature, now we don't get a brilliant view of it. It does remind me a lot of this. The Horrocks, however you pronounce it, I'm not entirely sure. It's a monster that we've only seen in Doctor Who TV-wise in one episode for a very short time. It was in the episode Love and Monsters, which is the one where we've got the Exorbaloth. Yes, that horrible thing of an episode. But that face-looking thing does remind me of that, what we can see through. I may be wrong, it may be a completely different monster, but that's what it just reminds me personally of. So there we've got the Doctor wearing some nice... well, I'm pretty sure it's the same one from the other series, the goggles she was wearing. Then we have this Stephen Fry scene, which I'm very happy that we have it in. You can see here some things which look like things you would have at a hospital, so that could be something to do with that. And this scene, I didn't realise this for a start. I was thinking this was a wall, but the more you look at it, you realise it's actually a floor. These are floorboards, because you can see a table leg here. So that's a shot from above. That's someone stood on the floor. So it looks like they're maybe going to be hidden, which is a bit weird of a thing to be hidden in the floor, but yeah, okay. But she's also in the same outfit that we see at the very beginning of the trailer. So imagining that this is the same episode, unsure of that yet though.
I can work with this.
Then we have this ship, which I can't say we've seen any ship like this before in Doctor Who. It's a very odd shaped ship, and it does seem to have like wing-like edges. So maybe this ship is actually from a future Earth-like planet where it has to land like a plane. I don't know. But that's quite interesting, because to me it looks a bit like a mix between a tank and a plane, which is an odd idea in itself. Then here we've got a scene where I'm not even sure if that's just where I paused it badly. Oh, it was. I thought for a second that he just had white eyes. No, okay, yeah. So that scene, that could be on any ship or place, we don't know, it's very unclear. But then we've got Judoon. So if I go to here, we have this other image that I'd seen a while ago of the Judoon and the Doctor. And yes, this is obviously what they're doing for the new Judoon, giving them hair and just a classic Judoon look. So we can tell obviously by the outfit that it's already a Judoon. Maybe this is the exact same Judoon, I am unsure. But yeah, there is the Judoon in Series 12. Now here we have, I don't know, some kind of warehouse, I would say. Not entirely sure what that is. Here we go. Now, this was the creature I couldn't remember the name of straight away before, but this is indeed Arachnos. Arachnos from The Runaway Bride, which is the Doctor Who Christmas episode, with Catherine Tate in it, or Donna Noble. And yeah, that is definitely Arachnos. Whether this is going to be the Arachnos Queen, or Princess, or Queen, I can't remember what it was actually in the Runaway Bride, I don't know, but it's definitely Arachnos, and we haven't seen them in a long time, so that will be very interesting, considering that most of the ones that we know about drowned, so we don't entirely know what's going on there. We don't know when this scene was set. This scene could have been set in the past, it could have been set in the future, we don't know. Now, this guy immediately stuck out to me because I'm quite a big fan of Nikola Tesla. So when I saw that, I immediately think that this is who it's meant to be. We've never seen many adaptations of Nikola Tesla on screen, but that's a real photo of him that's been colorized because they didn't have color cameras at the time, and that to me, wrong way. That to me seems like Nikola Tesla. We do get a little bit of a scene in a second. We do get this building with this future-looking car thing. It does seem to be Earth, but it's not entirely clear, because the only reason I'd say that is because the sky doesn't look different, but that machine or whatever it's meant to be doesn't look like something we currently have on Earth, or if it is, it's not something I'm aware of. And there we get this guy again, and like I say, very much reminding me of Nikola Tesla, and the accent does sort of remind me of what he would sound like, because he wasn't originally American. He was, I can't remember off the top of my head, he was from a different country, so he had to like learn English or American English. So that's why his accent would probably sound a bit weird. Now here we have an alien-looking robot thing, which seems to be based mostly off a scorpion, which, as far as I'm aware, unless there's something from Classic Who, we've never seen anything like that before. So that's an interesting new alien, and I wonder how that will get introduced into the story. Right, this scene really caught my attention, because it's only after watching it the second time I realised, if you watch the scene, the gas pedal gets pushed down by itself, or some other force. So that's very interesting, because that means that this scene, where they're in the car, they're not in control of the car, in charge of what it's actually doing. So some other source is controlling that car. So how that's going to come about, that'll be an interesting thing to find out. Then we have Graham wearing what, I've no idea what that's meant to be. Is it meant to be a mind reader thing? Is it meant to be... I mean, it is looking like it's going to be plugged into the TARDIS, and the TARDIS does have telepathic circuits, but it just seems really odd. Now this scene, to me, is probably from the first bit of, again, that we see, because they seem to be in the vineyard on the bikes wearing the right uniform. So, and then this, I believe this is the same scene where he's being shot, where they're being shot at. And here they're still wearing the bow tie and that. But then when she says, "Where are we?" and they say where they are, I'm not entirely sure that is exactly where it says it is, because that does seem a little weird. I think that could be two separate scenes of mashed together. But it could be a vineyard in France, not Spain. Don't know. We'll have to see.
Paris, 1943.
There we go. Paris, 1943. So that's obviously a wartime thing, well, World War II thing. There was a lot of different things happening in 1943 in Paris, France. Yeah, I've looked it up myself. There's a lot of interesting historical things that happened there. So it could be in many number of different things, so I'm not going to jump to any conclusions of what that's actually going to be, because you can do a lot in 1 year.
Something's coming for me.
I do like the blue aesthetic they've given to the TARDIS in this scene. I don't know if that's meant to represent something happened to the TARDIS, or if that's just a mood lighting sort of thing. And here we get the newest look of the Cybermen, which is quite interesting, because if you compare what they look like compared to the other Cybermen we've had in the past, it does seem to be more along these sort of looks of the Cybermen. And to be honest, I think it looks more like this version of the Cybermen more than this version of the Cybermen. Definitely doesn't look much like the Mondasian Cybermen look. But yeah, it definitely has an interesting look to it, because we have the teardrop eye, like in most modern Cybermen, but then here we have quite a clunky looking side piece compared to the more smooth ones of these. That's more smooth, that's more clunky. But then it does have a smooth top half. So it's almost like a merger of the two, in a sense, to give you a new looking Cybermen. These grill side pieces are also new. So whether they'll be important or just a new design change, who knows?
I can feel it.
Let it go.
Because we miss.
Finally.
Okay, so here we have the birds in whatever kind of lab this is. Still not entirely sure why, because there's like, I don't know if they're ravens or crows or something like that. But it's very interesting, because we haven't really had birds as enemy type things. This I'm not entirely sure what to make of this yet. Because the weirdest thing isn't the fact they're glowing, is the lights coming down, which makes me wonder if they're being teleported, and that's like the teleportation beam, in a sense. So they're just about to materialise. Not entirely sure. It's very unclear. Then that's a really unflattering freeze frame there. Right, okay, now this is interesting. These gas mask creatures, well, they seem to be humans, but the weapons seem to be futuristic or alien, so that's going to be interesting. But the environment this set in looks very now, doesn't look very futuristic, so whether these are humans that have got their hands on alien technology, that is very much a possibility. We have seen that before in the past. See, here we get a better shot. This does sort of remind me of the same lab that we saw the crows in earlier, so whether they're connected, unsure of that yet. Now this is interesting. Something clearly getting through the TARDIS, but it does seem to be warping the TARDIS itself while getting through. So any details you actually see aren't of the creature except the outline, is just the warping of the TARDIS. So we can't even see any features on it. But it does resemble a similar shape to the things we seem to see like teleporting down or white glowing earlier. So that could be interesting. Obviously, more TARDIS scenes. Running towards a beach. There does seem to be something on the beach, but I don't know if she's running to that. And then we get more of the crows again. So, and this is on a beach scene, so I'd imagine it's in a pretty similar... Well, it's going to be in the same episode anyway. Explosions, crying, planes. Now this could be anywhere. These scenes could be anywhere. And same with this, it's very unclear. Yeah, it looks like there's been an explosion or something with a hair and a mess. But that could literally be anything. And then yes, coming early 2020. So that's a very interesting looking Doctor Who for 2020. Now early 2020, I wonder when that's going to actually be, because normally they try and set it around a specific point to do with either school holidays or just something in the year. But early 2020 could be anywhere, really. It could be a case of it literally starts like the weekend after New Year's Day, and that really would be early 2020. But we simply do not know yet, so I am looking forward more to it than I have been for a long time. So, that's been my reaction and analysis of the Doctor Who trailer, and I will see you next episode. Bye!